I'm Ron Carlson. I'm founder of iDemandInsurance. We're a new MGA focused in the property catastrophe segment. We're looking to raise $1 million as startup seed capital. This is pre-revenue. We're in the middle of all our development, a number of things to get into the market in the next few months. Bottom you see, give us an address, we give you a quote. This month, Hurricane Barry did a good job explaining what we're all about. Tropical storm of hurricanes, storm surge, and river floods are three separate perils that you need to buy insurance for. All of them have significant capacity constraints and carriers in the market as well as price. So this is one of our core segments that we're starting this company for. iDemand, as an MGA, we create, manage, distribute, bind, quote, and service insurance policies on behalf of insurance companies in excess and surplus lines market. Our products are the who's who of catastrophe perils: wind, flood, weather, wildfire, earthquake. A unique thing for us is going to be our distribution system. Most MGAs get to distribute to one or maybe two sources. We created a model platform that we can get to all distribution channels: wholesale, retail, consumer directs, and most importantly, also carrier-affiliated brokers. We also have a large technology platform. We have a tremendous policy admin system. Everything we're doing is black box, underwritten, and serviced. We do not have a requirement for live agents unless somebody has a question that we need to have a licensed agent there for. Distribution and understanding the market. This is a tremendous slide. So it's made up of a number of issues. Distribution, we talked about all the different segments. But within the market, to understand where the policies would come from, you've got a bunch of national carriers: Allstate, Nationwide, Farmers, etc. They're national carriers. They don't place new business in the coastal shoreline. They're not even in the top 25 in the state of Florida from 2017. None of them. State pools, every state has one. These are insurers of last resort because the agents can't find capacity for wind or flood covers. Standalone, it's a good indication where people have separated these catastrophic perils from their typical homeowner's policy. 20 to 30% of the coastal market tends to be in that. All of earthquake and all of flood is. Uninsured, Florida homeowners, 13% of the Florida homeowners market goes uninsured. Some of that is a good customer base for us. So what makes our product unique? We've created an event-based hurricane product. On the left side, you're looking at all the things you can't change when you go to buy a policy. Doesn't matter. Your location and roof, you can't do anything about it. On the right side, if you want to save money, today all you can do is take a bigger deductible. A lot of people can't afford that. We've gone in and looked at the policy characteristics and developed a product where we can let people decide how many hurricanes they want to pay for in advance. It can be unlimited, traditional policy, or they could go all the way down to zero and then buy live cat from us, having the right to buy live cat when the cat's out in the Atlantic. That's first to market, doesn't exist in the market at all.
So as the hurricane approaches, they can buy insurance.
And this will give you an idea. This is a historical tool that allows people to research right where they live, what the actual history would be instead of your perception history. We charge or identify an event to their location based on the distance and the category. You see the size categories in the middle. People can put their exact address in, they can put a city in, however they want to get around it, and then we'll produce the history for it. What I did here is showed, we'll let the slide change here. So this is Miami, Florida, hurricane capital of the US. Over 50 years, there was actually only 10 storms that would have, based on the category, really threatened Miami. That's not very many, and nor did people have losses 10 times. Each of those dots are reports from the National Weather Service. So it identifies the category, every detail about it. We cataloged every storm all the way back to 1867 when they started the records. The graph on the bottom, those are three different program options that we have available. The unlimited, a flat line, traditional product. The green one on the bottom is where you buy nothing until a storm happens. This is what your frequency would look like if you did every single one. Our next product is flood. Our core two products are wind and flood. Flood has been dominated by the National Flood Insurance Program. Only in the last 4 or 5 years has the private market started to step back in and get a comfort level. It only has about 5% market share. You can see the growth happening on the right side and the dip on the National Flood Program on the left. There's material changes in coverage offered in the private flood, how much limit you can buy, is your basement covered, etc. Beyond our two core products, we're going to have additional products coming online in the next year or so. Our weather product, this is going to be a parametric cover. It's a if-then. If it snows and you want to be paid $10,000 per inch above 30 inches, you get paid. That's a parametric trigger. Wildfire is quickly moving out of the admitted insurance market into the excess and surplus lines. That's where we're playing. Earthquake, not fortunately, but it's been a pretty soft market. We've held off on that because I don't think we can get the right rate for the carrier. I've got to protect both sides, market and carriers. We think the quakes this year help bring that market forward a little bit. We plan on getting into that market in the next year. How do we get paid? We're a commission-based company. We take an MGA commission. On our wind, it's about 27%. We give 14% to our sub-producers out in the market, so we net 13%. It will vary a little bit by product. Policy fee, we take in about $50 to $200 per policy. We also talked about the omni distribution. We will be including consumer direct in our product. We will become that retail agent. So in those cases, we get that other 10% or so that we would have paid out to sub-producers. I'm guessing a few people in the room have a brother or cousin or uncle that might be an insurance agent someplace. It's really important to understand our MGA is not a typical agency where we qualify into that market segment, but in most agencies, you always hear about people getting bought. Agents get bought and moved over to another company. They get bought because the new company wants to take that business. Typical MGA is manual underwriting. Same problem happens. The person that owns the relationship is being bought and moved. We own our relationship. We own our product. We don't have that person where the asset's walking out the front door. Look at toward the bottom, what happens on revenue, EBITDA, and agency value. It's complete opposite. We don't care where people move. Our business will go with the people and stay with us. About our people, I'm Ron Carlson again. I've got about 30 years in the insurance reinsurance business. I was managing director for Willis Re. I ran their Midwest, South, and West Coast, full responsibility for the division. I then followed our former CEO of Willis Re, took over an insurance company in South Carolina, Columbia, and I ran 25 MGA programs, and I defined it as the good, the bad, and the ugly. It was a mess. It was 3 years of fixing up. It was the best experience of my life, quite frankly. We sold the company. The people that bought it for the billions of assets and took it out. I became COO, CAO for a startup MGA. We took it to $100 million by year 2 of premium. Now I've been out and building this. They're in year 4. The lines that I'm in, they've now reached about $200 million in a 4-year span. My COO, 10 years of auditing U.S. MGAs on behalf of Lloyd's of London. He did all the operations audits on behalf of Lloyd's for all of what would be my competitors. We will back office, we will outsource. We've got some fabulous companies, worldwide known, extremely credible, Exceedance or Cognizance. Kristen, that will sound familiar, I think. Technology, we have a company in the Bay Area. Getting toward the end here, so I'm going to push back and make sure that we get into our close here. Our $1 million, we're looking at probably doing it in 2 tranches. It's going to be covering staff, T&E. We've got a lot of vendor implementations and things to go there, a lot of regulatory issues and licensing. And then the second half of it, we expect to be able to be in revenue breaking even on the first 500. The other 500 is really going to be ramp up timing, the market demand, time of year you get in, budget variance type things. Again, we're an insurance agency, not a company. So we do not, our investors do not take a loss risk. I did make a reference when I got introduced to Startup Nevada. As you heard, I'm located in Nashville. We're a very mobile company. I actually have some ties in Nevada, and we'd be happy as part of this if we establish relationship that I would be basing our core operations in Nevada. I've gone through the profiles of people, and I can see within the list of mentors, there's some valuable relationships that I think would contribute to the success of iDemand, and look forward to that opportunity. So thank you for your time.